Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's not discuss how long it's been since my last video. It's been a long time. Life has been super busy, so I do apologize. But I'm back today. I'm going to create a really fun layout with you all featuring the new Sweet on You collection from Creative Memories. Not gonna lie, I absolutely love this collection. It's very me. It's the sticker sheet that comes with this collection. It's a really fun Valentine theme collection, but I mean, you can use it for any theme really, I think. I don't think you have to stick to Valentine themed photos. I'm certainly not. I've got my little photos already printed here. You'll notice that I have actually sized my photos smaller for this layout, and I am going to touch base with you all and share how I've done that. So if it's something that you wanted to try for yourselves. But I've got all my papers here, and I've also picked some cardstock to go with my layout. I'm working with cranberry, which is this color here. As some of you may already know, on the top sheet that comes with your designer papers, Creative Memories always lists what cardstock will coordinate with the collection. So you can see here it says soft pink, red, cranberry, beige, or hot fudge. I love that they do this because it does certainly take all the guesswork out of selecting your cardstock. So I'm going to use cranberry. This is going to be my base paper, so it's going to be a little frame behind some designer paper. And I'm also going to use it to back my photos. Okay, so to start with, I'll just move those out of the way. I'm going to have this beautiful soft pink as my background paper, and you can see it's got a tiny little red heart splashed across it there, and I've got a sheet of the cranberry cardstock which will be a frame behind this designer paper. Now, to conserve your cardstock, you can by all means gut or remove the center of this cardstock, and the offcut obviously is what you can use to back your photos. But to start with, we need to trim down our designer paper just a little bit. I'm trimming it down to 11.75 by 11.75. So that's just going to give us a teeny tiny little snippet of that cranberry cardstock peeping behind it. So you can see it's just the smallest amount that we're removing. Just rotate my page and do the exact same thing. Okay, so I can bring in my cardstock and we can adhere this over the top, and you want to just make sure that you get that nice equal even frame showing on all four sides of your paper, and when you're happy with that, then you can adhere that into place. So I've got my adhesive tape runner, and I'm just going to add a little bit around those edges to hold that into place. Okay, so once you've stuck that down, that's our background page all prepared. So we can just sit that to the side for now. This is a grid design layout today, so it's going to resemble sort of like a noughts and crosses board. For this next step, you could use one of the chocolate tone designer papers from your paper pack, or you could just use some hot fudge cardstock, which I'm going to do. I like to conserve my papers to make them go as far as I can. But from your hot fudge cardstock, you need to cut 4 strips at 1/2 inch wide. And then we're going to cut down the length just a little bit. Just enough on that strip there. Okay, so we've got our 4 strips. Now I'm just going to do 2 together at a time, and we're going to cut these down to 11.75 inches long as well. So just line that up on your trimmer board, and it's just removing that small amount. So do that to all 4 of these strips. Saves time, and it also saves your blade and your trimmer strip there on the board by doing 2 together. There we go. Now this is where I'm going to bring in my 2-way corner rounder punch. So this little guy. And this is optional. You don't have to do this. I think it just gives it a nice finish to these strips. But you can see on the top here, you've got these 2 little white circles at the very top. I want you to just slide your strip in between these 2 circles. It's very simple to do. And you want your strip to go into the round of this blade just so the edge is just on the inside of it. We only want to remove the smallest amount, so you don't need to slide it all the way in. I'm just sliding it so it's just in under the round, the curve of that blade, and punch. And it just gives it a nice little rounded edge. We're not really removing any of the length. So we just slide that in so it's just inside the curve of that blade, and punch. And you're going to want to do this to all of your strips. Take your time with it because you don't want to shorten them. I mean, it won't matter if you shorten them just a little bit to one another, but you certainly don't want your strips all different lengths. So do be sure to position them exactly the same and just punch that very end off each of those strips. So we've got our 4 strips done there. Okay, so I'm going to bring back in my background paper here, and I want to make sure that I keep it nice and square on my cutting mat. To do this, if you've been scrapbooking with me for a long time, you know I use these a lot. These are the Creative Memories adhesive dots. These were part of a promotion a while ago, but I like to take one and I just take a little bit of the sticky off just on my t-shirt, or you can use, you know, the oils off your fingers. And I'm just going to stick it in the top corner and the bottom corner of my cutting mat. By removing some of the adhesive first means that it's not going to leave any residue on my cutting mat, and it's certainly not going to make my paper stick permanently at all. It peels away quite easily. So I've got one at the top, one at the bottom, and now I can just line that up perfectly square, and I know that everything I'm adding to my page will be nice and straight. Okay, so we're going to take our little hot fudge strips. Now this is going to look quite bold when I first add these to the page, but once we start layering our embellishments and photos over the top, you will see that they will be hidden that little bit. Now if you find when you're adding your hot fudge strips that one is a little bit longer there from removing a curved edge, I'm just going to take a little bit more to even that up. They don't have to be perfect by any means. Now I'm adding these at 4-inch intervals, and they're pretty well centered to that 4-inch marking top and bottom, if that helps you. So we can adhere those into place. I'm just going to use some of my repositionable tape. So it's about halfway to that 4-inch marking and through to the bottom. And the same for this second one, like so. And then we can come in with our final 2, and these will go horizontally across our page, and just doing the same thing at the 4-inch interval markings. And again, if you find one is just a little bit longer to the other, you can just, you know, remove a little bit more with your corner punch. As I said earlier though, it's not critical. So I'm just lining that up making sure it's centered through that 4-inch mark, and I'll do the same for this top one. And that gives us our grid formation, nice and simple. So I'm going to add some hearts to this layout because naturally it's a Valentine theme. So I've got my smallest heart custom cutting system template, and I'm going to work with my red blade. Now basically, to show you what we're going to be working with, I've already prepared 2 off camera. We're going to need 3 hearts, but basically I've created some really simple but fun fringed little hearts that we're going to add to our page. These will overlap our frame strips a little bit, and they will go directly to the edge of the paper, but that's okay. So you can see there, they will fill that square quite nicely, but we're going to be adding 3 to our page. So I'll share with you how we put that together. I'm actually just going to lift that to the side. I'm going to bring in another cutting mat so that I didn't have to peel off my background paper. But basically I'm just using some scrap cardstock. I've still got more of this hot fudge cardstock that we used for our strips, and then I've worked already with creating those first 2 hearts, but you want to cut them. You're going to need 3, and you're going to need to cut them from the outside track with your red blade. Now this paper will be covered, so it doesn't really matter what you use. You're not going to see it. So we'll cut our heart like so. So I'm going to bring in some more of the papers from the collection. I've got some of the brown, and I'm working with the lollipop and cookie paper, and then I've got more of my pink paper, and I'm also going to work with the red, which is on the reverse. So basically what you want to do when you've got your heart cut, bring back in our trimming board, and you're going to need to cut some 1-inch wide strips from each paper. I'll cut 2 from this pink because obviously I'm working with the red on the other side. I might actually cut an extra one because this is a shorter width, this paper. I might need more. And I'm going to cut a 1-inch wide strip from the lollipop paper and a final 1-inch wide strip from this brown frame paper. It has the white check on the back of it. Okay. Again, technique that I use all the time. My little sweet peas out there that have been scrapbooking with me for a while will know how much I love fringing. But basically, there's no rules with it. You just want to cut some fringes there along with your scissors. And you can see that I've just stopped, you know, probably, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch from the top there. Certainly don't cut all the way through, but just work your way along with your scissors. You can fold your strip if you want to get it done quicker and do 2 layers at the same time. Or if you're like me, I've got my relic fringing scissors here. I've begged Creative Memories to have their own branded fringe scissors. So you can see how quickly you can get through these. I've had these for about 1 billion years. I think I can't even remember where I picked them up from, probably a craft store somewhere. So whatever technique you're using, we just need to fringe cut all of these strips and just leave, you know, a few millimeters there at the top. Okay, so when you have finished fringing all of your strips there, it's time to bring your hearts back into the fold. And I've just got it on my silicone mat here so I don't get adhesive on my cutting mat. Basically, you want to fill this heart with adhesive. I'm just running strips across from top to bottom like so. So So it's all sticky and it's all ready for you. Now, if I can show you the first two hearts that I've done, you'll notice that I haven't made them exactly the same in the order that the strips have been placed. So I've started with a chocolate brown here and finished with a red. This one I've started with the lollipop paper and finished with the lollipop paper. So I just thought it would be fun to mix them up a little bit. You can, you know, choose whatever suits you for that. I'm going to start with a red though for this heart. I'm just going to make sure that I've got the top two arcs of my heart running along a straight line there on my cutting mat, because you want to make sure that you do get these fringing strips as straight as you can. And with the first one, we're going to obviously be using the offcuts, so you only need enough just to cover the width you're working at. And I'm just making sure that the bottom of this strip will be in line with the bottom of the heart, like so. And I might come in with some of the pink, and you want to just cover just the very top, like where you've left that uncut edge at the top of your fringing. So we're just going to line that up nice and straight, and you can see, if I hold that up to the camera, that it's just covering the very top edge there of my fringing. I'll come in with the white edge, and again we want it nice and straight, like so, because I can tell you, even though I've used repositional tape, if you want to pull that up, it's going to tear. So try and get it right the first time, and I'll save you the drama of that. So we might put, actually I might put another red down now, and we'll finish with a brown at the top. So red strip there, and I can finish with the brown at the top. And you want to just press down and make sure that you've got all of those fringes in place. It's not going to matter if you see a little bit of that cardstock poking through. So now all we need to do, and I mean you can use these offcuts obviously to cover more of your hearts for the layout, but it's just a matter of turning that over, and with your scissors just very carefully following around the outside edge of that heart. This is why I said you need to really make sure you press those fringes down firmly onto the cardstock so that you don't take any of them away. I'm just very carefully making my way around. You'll have confetti going everywhere. And when you turn it back over, there you can see you've got your nice little textured and fringed heart to add to your page. So I'm just going to move these to the side now. Now I'm going to use foam squares for adding the hearts, just to give it that bit of extra dimension. I'm using the larger size square. And you can place these in any square that you like, but I'm going to put mine on the diagonal going through my layout, through the diagonal center. So we can add that one centered, and our final little heart. Down the base there. Like so. So I'm probably still going to layer some of the little stickers over the top of these, but we'll get to that because I really want to work now and move on to our photos. Now for this layout, I wanted to use multiple photos, so more than one. I'm actually going to feature 4, but I also knew that they needed to be a smaller size. And sometimes, you know, you just cannot cut down one of your 6x4 photos to say, you know, 3x3. It just removes too much of the subject matter. So what I've actually done, I've resized the photos that I want to use, and I've fitted 2 3x4 on the one 6x4 photo. So I can just, you know, cut them now. But the way that I've done this, it's really, really simple. I've just downloaded the Project Life app to my phone. It has all of the templates that you could use for a 6x4 photo, depending on what size photo, you know, you're after. and I'm able to just take that and get those photos printed as I usually would. It's super simple to use. The template's all there for you. All you've got to do is upload your photos to whatever size that you like. I am in no way endorsed or sponsored by Project Life. This is just a personal opinion and what works for me that I'm sharing with you. So if you've sort of thought about being able to print your photos to a smaller size and didn't know where to start, then I do recommend the Project Life app. I do find that really good for resizing for smaller photos. Like I said, these are 2 3x4 inch sized photos that I've got here. I'm actually going to cut them down a little bit smaller. I think I can afford to now that I've resized them, and probably use them about 3x3 for my layout. So again, I'll just move the background out of the way and bring in my trimmer, and we can easily just line that up and cut it down. So from the 3x4 size of each individual photo, I've actually gone ahead and I'm cutting it down to 3x3. So they're even smaller still, but I'm not sacrificing any of that subject matter from my photos. So I've got my 3x3 photos. I've cut some cranberry cardstock to 3.25 by 3.25 so that I can add a little mat in behind those photos. So we can adhere those into place. And if you gutted that base piece of cardstock to start with, what you've removed from the center will be plenty for matting your photos. And our final one. Like so. Now I am going to add these to the squares with foam squares as well. Let's see, I might put that one up there and that bottom one there. So they'll fit, so you've got a nice even space there between your grids, and I'm going to add those with a foam square as well. Again, just to elevate it above those lines that we've put in for the grid. Love my foam squares. So we can add that one there centered. Now we've got our 2 leftover squares. I'm going to add some journaling to the bottom left corner and just another little embellishment cluster to the top. Creative Memories recently released the write-on stickers, which are perfect for journaling. You know how much I love using strips for my journaling. This saves having to cut down cardstock and stick them into place because they're little stickers and you just cut them to the length that you need. I was super excited for these, so I'm going to be using those for my journaling. And I'm just going to add some of the little stickers just to highlight that bottom corner. And I might add perhaps a little strawberry. So just layering them together. And we might scatter some more little hearts. I've got a deep red one there. And I might add the brown. And then I can come in with my little stickers here. So this is where I'm going to add my journaling, and it's just a matter of cutting them to the length that you like. I'm going to actually cut the length in half. And then we can just peel these off, stick them in place, and write on them. Oh, I haven't actually cut through that one very well. Then we can just add them as we like in place. So I'm going to have mine to the bottom here. And we can come in with our journal pen and just write on that as we like. And I'll add another. Just evenly space them that little bit. Like so, and then we can add some more embellishments up there through the top. Let's add this chocolate heart. Again, I'm using the foam squares. Let's add the lollipop, which is very cute. And then we might add these little XO kisses and hugs here as well. Now I've got my mat all lined up nice and square, so we want to make sure that we get our stickers positioned nice and straight as well. Just going to bring in my ruler, and we can make sure, just sticking it on the very edge there of my ruler. Make sure you get them nice and centered first. To where you need them to be. And then I can just press them down. Into place. I might add another little heart there. So I think clusters are always good in threes. Okay, so I finished my page with just a few extra sticker embellishments I've written on my journaling strips. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this layout come together and seeing the brand new Sweet on You collection from Creative Memories. I also hope that the information I passed along about the Project Life app and using that to resize your photos may help you a little bit as well. Don't forget, if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel, it's the best way to support my creative outlet. For now, take care everybody, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye.